just mic'd up with Mikie Mahtook. Got the boys in. I got Lloyd. We got Mitch. We got Jackie Boyd.
He tried to jump up, and he might have knocked it in.
Good timing. Let's go. What a start to the Monday. Oh, I mean, I'm from Lafayette. My boys would come in and say,
oh, God. So me and Joe on the ground. I got Joe in the headlock. And he's sitting there, he's punching me in the stomach, like, punching me.
Here, is everyone sitting around? Who here thinks Ochinko can practice today after having 5 full beers? And he goes, Chad Jones, right? Chad's doing the team.
6 minutes. For 7 minutes, right? Chad's like, no, man, I don't think Ochinko can practice today. And I was like, I look back, I'm like, Jesus Christ. I saw you there. You were more fucked up than me.
On the spirit plane had some issues, I think. She was sleep farting.
You heard her or you just thought it was her?
I sat right next to her. I smelled it.
Whoa. What was that?
Time for the show.
Now, when you do go to spring training, are you going to bring your chinchilla and your turtle? My dad tell you about it?
The SEC is, God, they hate fat people. I mean, I get crushed for that. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, man.
Hey, just the South, bro. You got a bunch of food down here. Like they should.
Players, look at Lloyd.
You know what, Lloyd?
You're looking for a recruiting coordinator, coach. I'm here.
Yeah. He's like, I'll piss my pants right now.
No way.
We're wearing gray pants, long gray pants. He goes, I'll piss my pants right now. Hello. Welcome back to Mik'd Up. Today is Friday. I don't even know that that's March 1st. We are out of February into March. We had an extra day. Hope everybody was very productive on their extra day of the year, right? Lloyd, you called a game.
I did.
That's a scary thought to have you in the booth at a high school game where these minds are still being shaped, and you are the voice that they have to hear calling a baseball game. Heard you did a good job.
Yeah, I think it went well.
It was a nut cutter, huh?
It was. Ash Menard, the rivalry as old as time.
Walk off?
We go into extras. We went into the ninth. And it was so my buddy Marcus Matthews, his dad unfortunately passed away, was I think the only Major League Baseball player to come out of Menard.
Nice.
Not a storied program, but a bunch of grinders, a bunch of guys like me.
Play hard.
Yeah. But he was obviously a legend. So they
gritty guys.
Yeah, So he coached us too.
Yeah, okay.
So he gave back to the program after his stint in the major leagues, which is like 10 years. Comes back and they gave him the placard and everything. And my buddy threw out the first pitch, and then they let us in the booth for some reason, had the play-by-play guy in there, and we chopped it up.
There is a booth there?
Which is new to me.
I thought they'd be like right behind, right behind on the fence.
That's what I said. These kids don't know. We built this.
Yeah,
That's what we were saying. Like we laid the foundation.
House that Lloyd built.
Exactly.
No doubt. So look, I've never even done that. That was a great.
Look, you get your jersey retired. I get to go do play-by-play.
I go do some other stuff.
Yeah, we were going in separate directions, but it all comes back together.
Yep. Sorry that we missed the Wednesday show. I had some things I needed to do. I was out of town.
Mr. Big Time.
I was in Charlotte doing something. Hopefully that would make our show better. I'm always thinking about our show.
Yeah, don't forget about us.
Never forget. I'm always thinking about our show. I'm thinking, how to make our show better and what can make our show better. And
This would be something that would probably
had a
help.
really cool opportunity, and hopefully this opportunity continues to expand, and I will be able to help benefit our show. It will help benefit our show in the long run, and kind of get us more of a broader look in the SEC and other sports. But we're not here to talk about me, or we're not here to talk about Lloyd. We're here to talk about sports. We're here to talk about LSU baseball. We're here to talk about baseball, college baseball in general, and everything else that happens in the sports world. LSU baseball was back on the field Wednesday night in Rice in Houston in a very windy, cold. Now, if you're watching the game on ESPN Plus, the guy in the outfield was a little cold.
I don't know if he was cold or if it was the wind, but
Something.
both combination.
Something. It was made me a little dizzy watching the video, but LSU baseball helped everybody out and didn't have to play whole 9. And didn't they?
Yeah, they played 9.
I thought they 10-run ruled them.
No, they didn't agree to a 10-run rule.
Oh,
I want to see everything,
that's right.
Coach.
That's right. I turned it off.
You 10-run ruled
I
them.
10-run ruled them in my head. Yeah. So
You didn't want to see Bronzini come in?
I mean, I did, but look, it was long. I was on Eastern time.
Oh, that's right.
So it was late, and I had to get back here at an early flight, and so
Shout out YouTube.
shout out YouTube, shout out our friends
If you know, you know.
on YouTube who helped me because I didn't have the ESPN Plus app, so I appreciate all the people who go the extra mile to help fans watch our beloved LSU Tigers play. But LSU gets on the back in the winning ways. Obviously, they take care of business against Rice. Rice is not the program that they once were. They're trying to come back. Their head coach is playing in the big leagues. I'm gonna forget his name
For
Rice Owls. It is. I should know this.
if you don't watch the entire game,
I should 1,000,000% know this.
does the name Jose Cruz
Jose
Jr.
Cruz Jr. is the manager or the head coach for the Rice Owls.
the Bixby family head baseball coach.
Bixby.
That's what they call it.
Okay, well, he is the head baseball coach. So you'd imagine hopefully he can bring in some talent. He's a professional, played in the big leagues for a really long time. But LSU goes to Houston. They've been there since Monday. They start the tournament, or is it the Shriners Classic tonight against Texas, who's ranked 13th in the country. We're going to get to that preview. But they play on Wednesday. They take care of business, and some really cool things kind of went on. One, K. Anderson, next step, right? Wow. Guy was electric. Guy was super efficient. He was all over the strike zone, and he worked really quick. As an outfielder, as a defender, that's what you want. Hey, you get the ball, you give it to me, you get the sign, you go, right? And you don't just go and get to 3-0 and have to work all the way back, and then, no, I'm going to get 0-2, I'm going to get 1-2, I'm coming at you. You show me that you can hit me, and see what happens. They didn't show that they can hit him. I think he went 5 innings and struck out 7 or 8, I believe. 8.
And if you had to guess how many off-speed pitches he threw, what would be the number?
I want to say he probably threw, 70-something pitches. So 20 off-speed.
The number would be 7.
7 off-speed pitches, all fastballs.
All fastballs. Let me get to work. I know it's
Shows
cold
you-
out here, boys.
Listen to me. That shows you how electric his heater is. It shows you also the ability for him to control that and come at you.
Call it the Terminator.
Yeah, if you can hit it, you can
You name it.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to say that because they hit it. They hit it very often in that movie. But he looked amazing. Brady Neal, the revolving door of catchers, not in a bad way, in a great way, right? All 3 catchers have shown that they have the ability to perform at a very high level behind the dish and at the plate. Brady Neal feels like he is taking that next step offensively. Went big fly twice, both great swings. Love the lean back in his finish.
Get bent.
One off the scoreboard. The other one it was just, he looked really good. He looks really comfortable. He looks healthy, and that's really good to see. And then, obviously, the wind, by the way. We talked about the wind with the camera and the shakiness. There's a lot of shakiness on the defensive side on both sides.
Yeah.
Because, that wind must have been,
Howling.
pretty gnarly. Because every time the ball went up, you had no idea what was going to happen. But it was nice that they were able to go out there, get a couple of days before the game.
Left fielder had a day for Rice.
Left fielder struggled. It was just –
well, when you have one where you run all the way to foul territory and it lands where you were standing before, you didn't have to move. And then you get the
at some point, you've got to realize, hey, let me just err on the side of keeping this ball in front of me.
Mother Nature.
Yeah, let me just not overrun this.
He couldn't wait to get to the wall.
And so, look, I get it. It's tough. It's a tough thing to navigate through. LSU navigates through it. They do what they needed to do. They take care of business, and they move on. The big stories this weekend is the Shriners Classic that they were playing. They're playing University of Texas tonight at Minute Maid, the Juice Box. And if you remember last year, they had a classic with the Texas Longhorns. Walk-off home run for Jordan Thompson. They had it was a close game. It wasn't real high scoring. Lebarron Johnson Jr., who was a starter for Texas last year against LSU, is on the mound again tonight. He is, I think last year he pitched to a 2.9 ERA and looked really good doing it. And he's back on the mound, so it's you would imagine it's going to be a nice pitcher's duel. Luke Holman gets announced as the Friday night starter, which we assumed that was going to happen. We talked a little bit about that on Monday. We assumed Holman was going to, has earned the right to be the Friday night guy based off his last two performances. And so I'm looking forward to see the pitching matchup. I'm looking forward to see which guy in the lineup steps up. We're going to talk more about that as the show goes on. We have our friend Doug Thompson, live from the Juice Box. Live from Houston.
The straw that stirs the drink.
The straw that stirs the drink. He will be on the show live at 1:45 and give us kind of the feel of what's happening over there in Houston and the feel of the team and kind of what's going on, especially with this new move. LSU women's basketball stays hot. They look like they're kind of finding their way. They take care of Georgia 80-54 last night. They clinched the number 2 seed in the SEC tournament. They look like they're finding their way along the season. Paul Skenes makes his debut in spring training against 2 number 1 overall picks.
If a tree falls in the forest and nobody's there to see it, did it happen? Because they did. Major League Baseball just decided number 1 pick versus number 1 pick.
We've talked about that a lot.
That's your sport.
They can't get out of their way. They cannot get out of their own way in promoting their guys. But he faced 2 number 1 picks, and he does a really good job. And wait, where are you going? No, it's fine. It's fine. You're good. Faced two number 1 picks, goes out there, does his job, looks really good doing it, and it's going to be exciting to watch him progress throughout the course of spring training. Dylan Cruz had a really good debut as well.
He looked like the same old Dylan Cruz.
Looked like the same old Dylan Cruz. With that said, we're going to take a 1-minute break. We're going to be right back. I got to go fix some things out here real quick. There's some technical difficulties. Give us 1 minute. We'll be right back. Dozy Place is located on 3723 Government Street. Everybody knows about their world-famous steaks and their hot tamales, but what you may not know is that they're open for lunch every day from 11 to 2. Great people, great environment. Their lunch menu is fire. What's the best thing on the menu?
If you haven't tried it yet, you need to try the burger. Unbelievable, best burger in town.
Best burger in town. If you're looking for lunch, 11 to 2 at Dozy Place. Again, they're located on 3723 Government Street. Give them a shot. Like, maybe are you gonna have a Heineken Silver for the game? Maybe.
I don't want now.
You gonna shotgun another
You
one?
want another? I don't know if you should shotgun because we saw how that one last time.
I don't know. I feel like you gotta redeem yourself.
If you have a drink, I don't think you should shotgun.
The way it went,
I'll enjoy this
I think
one.
you should chug it, but maybe not shotgun it.
the way it went last time, it's
Yeah, I could do. I mean, I
Can't
can
sip
do
it.
anything. I know. All right, fuck it.
All right, go ahead. Go for it. There.
Oh, that's much better.
1, 2,
Open it up a little bit. You know what I mean?
5, 6, 7, 8,
Okay.
9,
Okay. It's
10,
now it's starting to drip. Now you're struggling a little bit.
12,
It's pretty good.
13. Not bad.
I'll give you
Not
a
bad.
12 and a half seconds there. How was it? Was it good?
Delicious. You
It was
can't
very
do that
Was it regular one?
with a regular one.
Right.
You can only do that with the silver.
The silver, why? Because the silver's lighter. It's got
Lighter.
95 calories. It's pretty crisp.
I
That wasn't even cold. I know you don't necessarily need a cold beer. That was room temp.
That's
But
the
I respect how
days
quickly
to be-
you turned around and gave me a full sentence. That was quick.
Oh, yeah.
That.
Officer on
Respect
time.
that.
You've been
Walk a
around
straight
before.
line, kid.
Yeah.
You've been around before, but
It's just breakfast.
It's a very good beer.
It
It's a
is.
very light beer. It's something that you can
Easy to drink.
Easy to drink.
Easy to pour.
Yes. But it's something that I think it should be in the rotation at tailgates, especially with LSU baseball coming up. We'll get into some of the LSU baseball conversation. Dozy Place is located on 3723 Government Street. Everybody knows about their world famous steaks and their hot tamales, but what you may not know is that they're open for lunch every day from 11 to 2. Great people, great environment. Their lunch menu is fire. What's the best thing on the menu?
If you haven't tried it yet, you need to try the burger. Unbelievable, best burger in town.
Best burger in town. If you're looking for lunch, 11 to 2 at Dozy Place. Again, they're located on 3723 Government Street. Give them a shot. But before we go into our break, I want to give a shout out to, like I said, we talk about us getting new partners, new sponsorships all the time. We have a new sponsor, and you've probably seen them on the top left corner in the little spinner logo. FCO Solutions. Our friends on at FCO, they're out of Lafayette. They're a civil construction company. They specialize in new multi-family construction, right? If you don't know what civil construction is, it's okay. Probably a lot of people don't understand it. They basically get the land ready to be built vertically, right? I'm giving you a little bit of a construction lesson here. I don't know much about it. I've learned it on the go, right? They specialize in site drainage, site utilities, earthworks, site cleaning, house pads, ponds, demo work, and hurricane cleanup. So they do anything that involves dirt, basically, or the earth. And a lot of that gets done it has to be done before you are building whatever development you are trying to build. So our friends at FCO have been fans of the show. They are really, really good people. They're down there in Lafayette. If you know anybody from Lafayette, you do know me. Mitch is from New Iberia. I'll consider that Lafayette's 337 area code.
There you go.
337 area code. They are unbelievable people. They do a very, very, very good job, and they are committed to growing and being the best at what they do. So I just want to give a shout out to our friends at FCO. I know that they listen. Appreciate you guys. We are going to be great partnerships. Last week, Heineken Silver is the new product that Heineken is promoting, right? If you look at it, we had this huge beer tower with all of the cans that they had given us. They had given us 2 cases of beer just to promote it. We're getting obviously some more stuff. And if you watched it, we had 2 of those, and they were boom, really high. If you look at them now, they're not near as high as they were, which goes to tell you that somebody has been drinking some of the beer in the studio, which is a good sign because it shows you that the Heineken Silver is very good. And it is their light beer. It is refreshing. It is 95 calories. It is equivalent. I don't want to compare brands because Heineken is a sponsor of ours. They are a partner of ours, and I'm not a huge Heineken fan, to be honest with you. But whenever they came here and said, "Hey, you need to try these Heineken Silvers," I was like, "Oh, this is good. This is easy. It's easy to drink." So I started drinking them. Obviously, other people started drinking them. Thank God that we got some more delivered so that we can continue to have display. But shout out to Heineken for their sponsorship. We appreciate it, and Heineken Silver for being so good. Welcome back to Mik'd Up. I appreciate the patience.
Back like you never left.
Back like I never left. I appreciate the patience. We had some things we need to take care of right behind the scenes. We had some crazy guy was just banging up on the window. I had to go and
That was our guy with the pipe.
that was our guy with the pipe. So we had to take care of that. We did that. We are back. Lloyd,
Yes.
let's talk baseball. We also, we didn't talk. We haven't been. So the other thing I want to talk about
Pitching mound, home
before we
plate,
get to
3
baseball,
bases.
Before we get to baseball,
Oh.
4.
I said pitching mound, home plate.
Oh, okay, so you consider that. Before we get to baseball, we had this little bit of a conversation on the basketball side, the men's basketball side. They lost, obviously, Mississippi State by a lot last weekend at home. Mississippi State's playing good basketball. They go and they take care of business against Georgia at home. Probably should have won. It was closer than they probably wanted to. They were up by a lot, kind of blew a lead, ended up hanging on. They have 4 games remaining. I believe maybe 3. 3 or 4 games remaining, whatever it is. All the games they have remaining are winnable. If they go and win the rest of those games, they put themselves, I think, at 10-8 in conference play, and they would be, I think, 18-12 or 17-12 overall, or 18-13, something like that. And then they put themselves in a position where they can go in the SEC tournament, maybe make some noise, win a couple games there. I'm not saying they're going to make the tournament, but at least they'll put them names in a conversation. Like maybe they're on the bubble. If they're going to go to the NIT, they are significantly better this year than they were last year, and I don't want to downplay what Matt McMahon has done throughout the course of the year and how he's gotten these guys to rally around him.
Especially in year 1, the de facto year 1.
Especially this is his first year with his team. Think about it. Last year, he was just trying to have a team.
Trying to field a roster.
He was just trying to get guys on the court, right?
You know, and that position that you're in as a basketball coach, like I need 5. He had 2 scholarship players coming back.
0. He had 0 at one point, then he ended up bringing them back out the portal.
Yes.
And Mwani's still there, and it's nice to have some familiarity with the guys on the team. And Mwani's playing a little bit more. Obviously he's super athletic, and on the defensive side especially. So it's nice to have those guys, but you can see the talent that he's brought in, the talent that he's going to continue to bring in, and so it is good to see. Now, to baseball. Jay Mitch is not here today. Jay Mitch is doing some moving right now. Not moving houses. He's staying in Baton Rouge. He is helping his in-laws move. He's out in Dallas, Texas. So he is impossible for him to be on the show today because he's doing some family stuff, and that's okay. That's what teammates are for. We pick each other up.
He reserves the right. February 30th. This is his day.
They don't have those. February 30th does not have that.
Taking a stand. Let's get one more.
Make the month longer.
That's right.
That's what he's saying. It was longer. Make it. I want a full month.
We're trying to respect the culture.
That's what he's saying. All right, let's talk about this game on Friday. We have Dougie coming in about 20 minutes. So before he gets in here, let's kind of talk about what we want to see. It's Friday. We didn't have a Wednesday show and Ask Mikey and Mitch. If you have questions, go ahead and throw them in there and Ask Mikey Day. Obviously, Mitch isn't here, so Ask Mikey. Me and Lloyd will answer as many as we can answer without our co-host, Jared Mitchell. What are you staring at?
I'm doing the Zoom, and it just has me in a pretzel all the time.
Why? I thought we figured that one out.
Yeah, but he keeps asking me some questions. We'll see. We'll get it figured out.
Oh, okay. Okay, we'll see. LSU and Texas.
LSU and Texas.
Friday night at Minute Maid. Matchup is Luke Holman, right? Luke Holman has gotten off to a really good start. He has a 0 ERA. It means he has not given up a run, an earned run, all year. .50 whip. That sounded like it worked.
That's all I needed.
There we go. .50 whip, which if you don't know what whip means, it means how many guys reach base like per inning, not counting home runs. So .5 whip means he's only having half a person reach base, which is very good. Anything 1 or below is elite. Anything like 1.2, 1.3 is good. Anything sub 1, I mean, .5 is elite, right? Lebarron Johnson Jr. is 1-0 with a 1.38 ERA. He's, as we mentioned before, the little break that we had, he is the
light reading.
He was the guy who threw against LSU last year. So some of the guys in the lineup have seen him before. A lot of the guys that saw him last year are now gone playing professional baseball. But he is off to another really good start this season. He's got a .85 whip. And I would imagine it's going to be a really good pitcher's duel. I think it's a really good test for LSU because this is going to be their best competition they've faced to date. And it's not at home. It's in a neutral site. You're not real familiar with where you're at. And it's going to be nice to see some of these young guys in the lineup to see how they kind of adjust and figure out how to have success off a guy who's established and has some experience in college baseball. A lot of people I think are kind of not worried, because that's definitely not the right word, but people are questioning or asking, what's going on with Tommy White? And I'm like, well, what do you mean? Well, he's not hitting with runners in scoring position. He's had a bunch of opportunities. He's in 5 double plays this year. Yes, he has. But part of baseball, it happens. He's not striking out a ton. I would imagine you're going to start seeing him. I mean, don't forget, he didn't have a fall, or he just started getting at bats in the spring. So it's going to take him some time to really get his feet underneath him, and when he does, he's going to go berserk.
Is it fair to say he's pressing?
I don't know if he's pressing yet. I think
I only say that because a lot of when Jay Johnson deems it a good offensive performance, a lot of people that are taking pitches, getting hit by pitches, you obviously saw that be the test case versus Rice, wherever you get, I think it was 15 free passes or 18 free passes, whether it be walks or hit by pitch. And then Tommy, I feel like when he has ducks on the pond, has this proclivity, like, I'm going to strike now because I might get one fastball. So he's hunting early in the count, which is, I don't blame him because he can hit it with the best of them.
He's always done that.
Right.
He's always been super aggressive early in the count.
I mean, he said it on the show where he was like, if I can get a fastball and I feel like it's going to be early, I'm looking to hit the first pitch.
No doubt, right? And that's that's the position he's in. Like, when there's guys in scoring position, there's bases are loaded, like, hey, he's the guy that you want to drive in. He's the guy you want at the plate. And so I don't think he's pressing. I think that he's just doing, what he does, right? He tries to attack early. He doesn't like to get deep in counts. And he has proven that he's been successful doing that over the last 2 years. I don't see it changing this year. He got off to not a blazing hot start, but he can go in this weekend and hit, goes 7 for 13 with 3 home runs and 12 RBIs, and he's back where he needs to be. So it's super early in the season, but I'm not worried about him at all. I think he's in a fine spot. I don't know if pressing's the right word. Now, a couple weeks from now, if he's still doing that, then maybe you can say pressing's a thing, but I don't think that's the case. Did you watch any of the Wednesday game
against Rice?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, watched the whole thing twice actually.
Wow.
Yeah, did a little rewind.
What did you like? What didn't you like? What do you want to see this weekend?
Well, I'm surprised. First of all, it's Luke Holman for sure?
Luke Holman is pitching.
Okay. First of all, the pitching you got from the freshman, which I thought was very impressive, being able to go into a road, the first time you're out the friendly confines of Alex Box, be able to go on the road in the way that he pitched, where it was give me the ball and go. And then the second thing that I was most impressed with was Milam's defense, which I think he's basically played his way into a starting role.
Yep.
Like, you can't leave him off of second base. Even, like, Jared talked about it a lot, the feed from second to short on a double play. Like, you saw that happen early. And then hitting with runners in scoring position, I thought was, with 2 outs, that's the recipe for success for LSU baseball. Any baseball, but LSU does it a lot where they put so much pressure on you that I thought that was extremely impressive, and that's how you put up 18.
No doubt. And look, I know.
Or 10 run to team.
Yeah, 10 run. Yeah. In my head, they 10 run them. Brady Neal hit the 2 homers, right? Like, obviously, the home runs, but we talked about LSU's going to score in different ways than they had last year. And I think you've seen that so far this year. You've seen them being more aggressive on the bases. You've seen them manufacture base runners by walking, getting hit. Obviously, they've done that, but they're hitting homers. It's just you're not going to have 4 guys on the team with 20 home runs this year. I know you didn't have that last year, but I think you had 6 guys with 15 plus last year on the team, which that's really good. You don't see that often. I don't think you're going to see that this year, but you're going to see them continue to do what they need to do, score runs, get on base. And this is all without Tommy White driving the guys in that you're used to seeing him drive in. I mean, he'd driven 100-plus runs last year, and he's not at that pace yet, but he's going to get there. He's going to have weekends, and he's going to have games where he's driving in 5-6 runs, and he's going to get right back to where he needs to be. So I want to see them continue to do that. I'm looking forward to seeing the higher level competition this weekend. Every game that they play, every opponent they have this weekend has a winning record. Texas, 13th in the country, they're 7-1. UL's 5-3. They're also UL, and they want to beat LSU as bad as anybody, right? They're down the street. That's just that every time LSU plays UL raises their level of play, and they want to win. And then you got Texas State on Sunday, who's also 5-3. Texas State has, they're known to have some talented guys. They're a Texas team. They're going to have guys who are good at baseball and they can beat you at any given time. So it's going to be their toughest weekend. And that's kind of what I am looking forward to watching. I wish we were there. I do enjoy Houston. I love Minute Maid. Love Minute Maid.
To play in or to visit?
I've done both. I enjoy playing there. I've hit one over on the tracks.
Oh, you got one on the train?
Yeah, listen.
You ran a train in the juice box?
Well, that's aggressive. This was in 2016, and it was an injury year for me. I wasn't playing great, and so I was up and down, I was on the DL a lot, and we're playing at the end of August, and their closer comes in throwing 100. And we are tied 1-1. I think I've told the story before. Have I told you the story? We're tied 1-1, and I don't have a homer yet in the year. I don't have a ton of at-bats because I've been hurt. And I get to a 3-1 count, and this guy throws me a fastball inside, and I crush it. Over the tracks, off the windows, and I kind of pimp it. I was it's just one of those ones I was very frustrated throughout the course of the year. I let all the frustration out, run around the bases. Evan Gaddis is in left field.
Oh,
yeah, I told you this. And he starts yelling at me. No, he's a catcher. No?
I thought he came. Yeah.
He's a catcher. He's catching at the time. And so I hit a home plate, and he starts yelling at me. Nice guy in the world, but very scary looking guy. Starts yelling at me, and then I get in the dugout, and I'm obviously excited. So we're winning 2-1 now in the bottom of the ninth. We're thinking I'm feeling really good about ourselves. This is when I'm in Tampa. First guy is Carlos Correa, goes backside home run, ties the game, leading off the inning. Next guy, Evan Gaddis, hits a fastball that is at his neck over the fence in left field, which I am playing left field that day. So it's going over my head. And so now I'm walking in, visiting dugout is on the third base line in Minute Maid. So I'm walking in as he's rounding the bases, and he's just staring at me, and he is motherfucking me from the running the bases. And I'm like, oh my God, it's
your fault.
This could not have gone worse. I mushed this.
Yeah.
And so we end up losing, but I enjoy playing there. It's a very, very, very fun. Have you ever been to a game there?
No, I've never been. I was I feel like it goes one of two ways, or one of three ways, I guess, if you're a Louisiana baseball fan with no professional team. Obviously, LSU is what people watch first of all, but then you can either pick the Astros, the Braves, or the Cubs. I was a WGN kid, so never really had the proclivity to go over to Minute Maid.
Stop using big words today.
To catch the game.
That's the third time you've done that. This is the first
Brain
time on
sharp,
air.
Coach.
It's the first time on air.
Brain sharp. So, no, I never have been to Minute Maid. I mean, I guess I would love to go for this tournament because, as it's turned out, it's kind of turned into a faux rivalry, and I think it'll be this even more so going forward because of the SEC Texas joinings next year, where it'll be all right, this has conference implications almost. So I wonder if they keep it going into next year, because now it has early season implications for a conference game where you usually don't start the conference schedule this early.
Right, and I think you've seen some SEC teams play each other in tournaments. It's not very common, but you've seen it before, early season tournaments. I mean, last week you saw Arkansas. They played Oregon State. They played Oklahoma State, and they had a tough tournament weekend. You're going to see that a little bit now. Oklahoma State and Oregon State, I think, are better than the teams that are in here. Texas is the one team that you could probably put in that category, but it's going to be the first weekend you see Jay Johnson have to really manage his staff, not manage in general, but manage his staff and kind of see what roles he likes these guys in big time situations, because this is a playoff type game, right? You're going to get some playoff type atmosphere. You're going to have a lot of LSU fans making the trip, because Houston is a place where there are a lot of LSU fans already that live there, but it's not that far of a drive from here. And for some reason, LSU fans just don't like Texas. There's not a big rivalry there, but they hate them.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the
University of Texas.
Oh, I think it's just kind of the we're back thing, and they make the playoff this year, so congratulations. But I think it all started
In
Probably
09?
2009, which I wanted to get your reference point of how you view it, because it might be, and I feel like this happens a lot with LSU, where there's other people that are kind of punching up, so to speak, as to wanting to be LSU's rival, but it's always, LSU's such a constant, whether it be baseball or football, that it kind of is like a rotating door, whether it be Florida, Alabama, and now you have the 2019 game for football, where it's like, okay, Texas wants to be kind of in that conversation. In 2009, I feel like they continue to get their hands stuck in the door.
Well, in 2009, so USC has the most national championships in college baseball. I think they have 12. Now, they have not won one in a very long time, but
The Mark Pryor era.
no, I don't even think they won one with Mark
did
Pryor.
either.
They lost to LSU that year in Omaha, but they have 12 national championships. Texas was second with 7, and LSU is third with now 7, or they're tied for second with 7. So in 09, Texas had 7 national championships. LSU had 5, going for 6. We beat Texas for our 6th national championship. Augie Garrido was the coach, Hall of Famer, RIP.
Was he at Rice with the speech that got recorded in the post-game
Where he used
locker
the
room where-
trophy as like a doorstop.
Oh no! I mean, he was just ripping the entire locker room. It's like, if you don't want to be here, that's Augie, right?
Yeah, but he wasn't coaching at Rice.
But who am I thinking of?
He was at Cal State Fullerton first.
Maybe that's what it was. Either way, regardless. But legend. I know who Augie is, and
right.
rest in peace, obviously.
So he was the coach there. So LSU, we had beat them. They were going for national championship number 8. We were going for number 6. We beat them to get 6. Last year, LSU won number 7. So now they're tied as far as championships go. And, Texas baseball really hasn't been super relevant as far as like national champions and big runs in the postseason recently. They're getting back to that level. Them being in the SEC, I think, is going to help them. And so I think it's just one of those like competitive things. Like, hey, now, we're better than you. We've gotten to the point. You haven't done anything in a long time. I think 2005 maybe was the last time Texas won a national championship.
Yeah, because they were on the cover of the baseball game.
Yep, and Drew Stubbs was their center fielder. They were good. That was Houston Street, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Look at
Oakland A?
Oakland A. He was very good as a closer in the big leagues. They were good. But yeah, I mean, Look, I don't care.
Oh yeah, you got.
It wasn't like I hated Texas or I hate Texas. I think it's just one of those. Just another team in our way.
Well, see, then this is where you get the other side of the coin, because when we were in Omaha, I was on the bachelor party. Obviously, all LSU fans, we were there for a reason, and there was a couple of Texas fans that were there, and I guess, you book the tickets, maybe you go, you don't go, you go anyway. And they were like, I just don't want to see LSU top Texas in national championships. And it's like,
That's what I was pointing at.
And I was like, well, I mean, so he's like, don't mind LSU, but not this week. And I was like, well, buddy,
sorry,
might want to go home early.
Yeah, that was a bad one. That was a bad week to
hop on the plane with Wade.
to not want LSU to win. But they are on the up and up, right? They are up and coming. They have a lot of professional players that are coaching for them. I believe Troy Tulowitzki is on that staff. He's their hitting coach, I believe, unless he just got fired, but I don't think he did.
I would be shocked.
There's a few guys on that staff. I think Houston Street's on the staff. Can you pull up the Texas the coaching staff, please? I believe that they have a lot of big league guys on the staff.
They have, we go down the list. David Pierce, head coach.
David Pierce was the head coach at Tulane, by the way.
Steve Rodriguez, assistant coach. Philip Miller, assistant coach. Caleb Longley, assistant coach. Troy Tulowitzki,
there he is, hitting
director
coach.
of player development.
Okay.
Carly Todd, operations.
I know Carly. She used to be at Tampa. She used to do our operations at
there you go.
Rays, yeah.
Matt Couch, Tom Mendez, and Chris Gordon. So I don't see Houston Street.
So no, Houston's not there. So, but I knew Troy was there. Obviously Troy Tulowitzki's one that was, multi-year All-Star in the big leagues and does a really good job. And they're getting, they're bringing in a lot of guys. They've done a really good job kind of putting that program back on the map and just in time for them to get in the SEC. So I'm looking forward to it. I don't really have a ton of news on them. I don't have a ton of stuff to break down. I mean, they have, like I said, they have talent, right? They have a guy on their team.
They have 2 guys batting over 400.
Yep. Jared Thomas is hitting .581 so far in the year. Now he's 31 at bats, 5 doubles, 1 homer, 6 ribbies, 14 runs, 6 stolen bases. So he's going to run. He's going to put pressure on LSU's defense on the catchers, which I am confident on LSU side because you saw VMI, who led the country in stolen bases last year, try to do that and was not very successful. I would imagine you're going to see similar stuff, similar results from LSU as far as throwing guys out and keeping the running game at bay. But I'm looking at the stats. So Texas, outside of Jared Thomas, Texas team ERA. You want to guess what it is, Lloyd, without looking at the – did you read the doc?
I did not. I was driving.
Perfect.
You can't
Perfect.
do
I
both.
didn't want you to read it. What do you think Texas team ERA is right now?
Texas team ERA is probably sub 2, probably 1.5.
1.82, right? So they are pitching at a high clip as a team. Now they have 73 strikeouts. They are 7-1, so they have 8 games. They have 73 strikeouts, 32 walks. Seems like a lot. That's 4 walks a game. So, that's not terrible. That's not a ton, but they've shown the ability to say, hey, we may give you some – oh, that means he's here.
Yeah, we have no video as of now, but I see he has joined the Zoom. So I was giving a little audio check, see if he can hear us or if he can speak.
Okay.
So I'll keep you updated.
Keep me updated. Text them if you need to.
I did.
Okay. I don't know. I mean, it's worked. We've worked it twice since the last conversation we had with him.
I'll see what he says. We should be
So
good,
we'll
though.
see.
At least we have a we're kindling the fire.
Rekindling.
No, we're just kindling it. It's starting. We'll see if we can
Okay.
blow some oxygen on it.
Yeah,
It's calling me.
that's not a good sign.
It could be anything. Douglas. What's going on, brother?
Now, there we go. Hello, everybody. Lloyd is working to what he needs to do. But I'm going through these Texas stats. And last year, Lebarron Johnson Jr., 5 innings pitched against LSU, 5 scoreless innings, 9 strikeouts, only gave up 3 hits. That's against a lineup, obviously, that has a ton of experience and a ton of talent. So this guy is talented. He has the ability to shut an LSU offense down. I'm looking forward to seeing what LSU does against him. Now, since we're not going to be able to give you all the other pregame stuff throughout the course of the weekend, we're going to talk about the other 2 opponents. UL Lafayette, they are 5-3 on the year. They are hitting .261 as a team, and their best player is Trey LaFleur. He's hitting .525, only 19 at-bats. But like I said, they have a winning record. Texas State also 5-3 mark this season. They are hitting .315 as a team, so a little bit more prolific on the offensive side than UL. And they have a kid, Ryan Farber, hitting .556. So my point in saying that is you have 3 teams that are all capable of beating you. And I would like for LSU to have a sweep. I think LSU, this game right now is the most important one. Obviously, it's the biggest competition game. It's one that you can look at the end of the year and say, hey, this game on the road, neutral site against a top 15 team out of conference is something that's going to help the RPI on both teams. And it's something that they can look back in the postseason and say, okay, hey, listen, we've proven that we can do that and we can beat teams that we're maybe not super familiar with. How'd that phone call go? What?
Promising.
Okay.
So I'm going to send him, I think I need to send him a new link. He said it's something with the live stream. We've done live stream before. So we're going to figure it out real quick. If not, I'll send him one of the old school links and see if that works. But right now, I still feel promised.
What was that noise? I like that noise.
That's what I'm saying. That's what we need. And then I'm going to...
We're going to talk this through. Nobody wants to hear just me talk.
Yeah. I mean, if they want to see how the sausage is made, we can
Nobody
do
needs
that.
to see it. We can just talk it through.
Yeah, I can
You
share
know?
the screen.
No, don't do that.
And so we're going to do the Zoom thing. I love the other way so much more because it just sometimes worked.
Yeah, but Zoom's better.
Yeah, it is.
Zoom is better. We're
It
gonna
is.
get this.
I do have a question from the chat to get
Perfect.
you rolling.
Thank you.
I don't know if you have an answer.
I hope so.
Ask Mikey, was there anything in the 2009 locker room that went on behind the scenes against Texas that may have helped in the College World Series?
Who asked that question? Feels like whoever asked this question knows
Something?
something.
Okay, and so we'll go to the next one.
No. I can say
Andrew
I can-
Messina. I don't know if you
Okay.
know it. And then he had another one. LSU plays Texas. Do you reminisce on the 2009 CWS?
So, did things go on in the locker room after? Of course, right? Like, we won the first game. Obviously, it was a very close game. It was, dramatic. DJ LeMahieu, 2 out, 2 RBI, 2 out, 2 strike, 2 RBI double in the top of the 9th to tie the game, right? Just to get us in the extra innings. And then the 11th inning, the pitcher, God, what an idiot. He was just, I couldn't cut up to the heater. I kept fouling off 97 over our dugout. He decided to throw me a breaking ball. Hung it, hit a base hit up the middle. We ended up scoring. We ended up closing the game out. Matty closed the game out in the bottom of the 11th. We win the first game. So you go to that one, you feel real good about yourself. You're 1 win away from the national championship. Next game, we faced Taylor Youngman, first rounder, shoved it up our ass. Like, beat us 4-1. It wasn't even that close. Like, we couldn't sniff him. He dealt. They beat us. We go into that locker room everybody's thinking like, all right, what are we going to do? That wasn't the case though. Like, we walk in and it was like a loose atmosphere. Everybody was like not joking because I don't want to like discredit losing, but there was no nervousness. There was no, what's going to happen? There was no questioning anything. It was all about whatever. And then we all went back to the hotel and we had a gathering in a specific room. And we just kind of had I'm going to keep what was happened and what was said in that room, but we kind of had a come to Jesus, like everybody get on the same page type thing. And then the next day, game was, that's when we won 11-4, national champions, and it all worked itself out. But yeah, as far as reminiscing, I remember that the fan bases, both fan bases, were having a really good time in the outfield, right? Like, I remember I was getting heckled a little bit in center field from some Texas fans, and they were doing the whole left-right thing. With me in the outfield, I did like a little shuffle, crisscross thing to kind of like throw them off. And they kept going after it. They were like kind of big contingent of Texas fans out there. Then all of a sudden, that contingent of Texas fans turned into a big contingent of LSU fans. And so now they're going back and forth right behind me. So like that to me was really cool and really fun. As an outfielder, it's nice to have some energy out there with the fans kind of going back and forth. So that's kind of what I reminisce about. Obviously, there's some really big moments in those games. And, it was one of the best 2 weeks of my life. We got another one or no? Or you're still grinding?
I'm sending it now. All right.
So the other link didn't work?
Oh, we're just going to try a new one.
Oh.
It says DT Zoom, so we'll try. I feel like this is on me, but at the end of the day.
Well, didn't we do this before? Didn't we already get this?
I know. This is how things work. This is how the sausage is made.
Yeah, but
like
how
I
did
said.
we got
I did
them
the
working?
same thing.
I know.
But, it's hard to call 2 games in 2 cities in
Here we
1.5
go.
days.
Here we go. Here we go.
You
and Joe Buck, man.
I try to find work. I'm
It's
like
tough.
Kirk Herbstreit of Louisiana.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough.
Not everybody gets chartered out.
Give me the next question.
Next question up from the chat is Ask Eminem from our guy Fonz. Ask Eminem, how rowdy do you think the student section is if it's left over the bullpen? So with the new stadium arrangements and where they're going to put people, where they have like obviously moving the bullpen to the student section essentially, where it feels like they're going to build like a walkway and they'll be underneath the student section. So he's asking, there's no way that goes wrong.
I think it goes right. I think it's a great spot.
Big Texas Tech energy.
That's basically what Ole Miss does.
I'm saying it's adjustment period from LSU going to kicking everybody out of the game at one point in time to now having to deal with this, I feel like.
Well, for sure, they're going to have to listen to the Landmark company who does all the security and stuff is going to have some adjustments on their end. I love the fact that, you go to Ole Miss, the visiting bullpen gets doused with the beer showers every time there's a home run. So I think that brings a whole different element. I am all for it. I love the energy. Now, obviously, if there's a line that you don't want to cross, those types of things, but I like it.
All right, Doug, we have some audio. Can you hear us?
Damn it. Are you muted? I hear something.
That's what I'm saying. He said he can hear us.
Is he talking?
No, is he hearing the same thing I'm hearing?
Was he trying to talk?
That's some noise. Doug left. All right. We'll figure it out.
We're working on it.
Keep it moving.
We're working on it. Maybe it's his computer.
He says he can do it, but he's never done it on a live stream. So we'll see. We'll see. I'll continue to monitor the progress on this end. My favorite thing to do.
All right. Well, we'll keep going with questions if we got any more.
Okay. I can do that as well. Ask him. I know it's a long shot, but how cool is it that LSU has LSU baseball, women's basketball, gymnastics, and football all have a chance to win a natty in the same calendar year?
I think it's amazing. Softball's up there. Did he say softball?
Yeah, no, but he didn't, but he should.
Softball's up there too, right? They're undefeated
number 3?
still. Number 3 in the country. Dance team won national championship. They're natty national champions. So, that's impressive. Listen, LSU's always had a long history of having successful teams outside of the big 3: football, basketball, and baseball. And it's a credit and a testament to the coaching staffs and the athletes that are able to come here. It's a testament to the university of creating a culture that wants people to come. Oh, that sounds good.
I think we got a Duggar.
Well,
Douglas.
Look what you did to me.
I just saw him on the video.
Damn.
I saw him. I saw the man. I still see him.
But you don't hear him. Are we muted?
No, join audio. Hold on. Dougie. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Don't hang up. Don't hang up. We're doing this live.
I love this. We're going to get it.
Okay. Hold on.
I don't know what's
This is
going
new
on.
food for me, too.
I know, but we've gotten the last 2 work. Last 3 to work.
Hold on. I got one more. There we go. Dougie.
Yo.
Hey!
That's a big win! That's a big win!
Hey, let's go. You look great, Coach.
It's unbelievable.
You look great.
Modern technology,
Thanks,
Coach.
guys.
You look great.
Thanks.
Yeah, backwards hat looks
Appreciate
good
it.
on you. The goatee looks nice. How's Houston treating you?
That's good, man. It's good. It's a little chilly here in the 50s.
That's not bad.
High 50s, but I think it's warming up toward the weekend. But everything's good, man.
Are they going to it's a dome, so I'd imagine tonight's going to be closed at the Juice Box. Were you were there for the Rice game, right, on Wednesday?
Yeah.
That seemed like that was miserable.
It was. No, it was. For the players, for sure. I mean, we were fine, but the wind just never stopped. And the game started at 59 degrees, and of course, when the sun went down, it just got hotter and hotter. So, colder and colder, and the wind just
Team got
was
hotter and
howling.
hotter.
It was howling all night.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about that game before we move on to the weekend. I think for me, one of the biggest things that I saw for that weekend was Kate Anderson kind of took that next jump, right, as a starter. He impressed me a lot his first start, which was the Monday before. He looked really good. He kind of did it. Now, he had some hiccups through at the end of the game, right, end of his start. But last night, or Wednesday night, he comes out there. He goes 5 innings, strikes out 9, throws 7 breaking balls. 7. All fastballs.
Yeah.
And he was you're a pitcher, and as a position player, my favorite thing for a pitcher is a guy who gets the ball, goes after the guy, throws strikes, and works quick, and he did all of those things. And he was going at these guys with his fastball, says, here it is, come and get it. I don't believe you can hit it, and they didn't prove that they could hit it, and he looked really good. He's obviously a freshman. What do you like from him?
Well, his fastball certainly plays. It's up there, 92 to 94. He'll touch 95 now and again. And his curveball is really, really good. He's just having trouble throwing it for a strike. And that's the reason we're seeing so many fastballs is because he can't get it over for a strike. The swing miss percentage is under 15% on that pitch. And it's frankly because he got hit pretty well in the fall. They hit that fastball pretty good, and it's because, of course, his teammates knew that if they just lay off the spin and wait for that fastball to show up, that they would be ready for it. And I think that's what we're kind of seeing. Man, if he could simply, a lot of guys throw a curveball like me, for instance. I threw 60% curveballs some games at LSU, and like I had to have a curveball, a backdoor curveball to the lefty. I had to be able to bounce it, and I had to be able to throw it for a strike. And really, because of how good his fastball is, he really only needs to be able to throw it over for a strike, right? It's such a hard breaking curveball. I think that's the one thing that's going to be the challenge for him. And when he figures that out, he's going to be lights out.
Yeah, no, he's it looks like he's got a great demeanor on the mound. The other thing that I saw from Wednesday's game is, and look, I don't know, I've never seen this on a team, but having three catchers that they rotate. Usually when you're rotating three catchers, you don't have one. They're rotating three catchers, and they've got three real dudes who go out there and not only are capable defensively, but they're all three doing it offensively. And Brady Neal last year, he had some flashes. He hit some big homers. Didn't have a ton, but hit some big homers, and then got hurt. This year, it kind of feels like he's taken the next step offensively. At 2 home runs last night, or a Wednesday night. What have you seen in his game? Also, great lean back on his finish, too, when he hits the homers.
Yeah. Well, you're right, Mikey. It's a great luxury, and you're also correct in saying that a lot of times when you see three catchers, the truth is you really don't have one. But that's not the case here. They all are plenty serviceable behind the plate defensively. I think Milazzo is probably, overall the better defensive catcher amongst the three. But, I think Brady Neal is probably the better all-around hitter. I mean, Travinski's going to run a bunch of balls out of the yard. He's a menacing, middle of the lineup guy. But I think that we're going to start to see, Travinski more in that designated hitter role. Neal is the starter on Friday and Saturdays with Milazzo coming in late, and perhaps Milazzo getting that Sunday start or something along those lines. But I feel like you've got to have Neal's bat in the lineup, and I feel like you have to have Travinski's bat in the lineup as well.
So let's move on to Friday, right, or today. LSU plays Texas. Last year they had this exact same game. They played Texas in Houston. You had, Jordan Thompson hit the walk-off homer, facing the same guy who dominated LSU. I think 5 innings, 9 Ks, no runs, 3 hits, the whole deal. That guy's on the mound again. What can we expect from the matchup of this game between Texas and LSU? What does Texas bring to the table? Obviously, we know what LSU's got, but I don't think a lot of people are very familiar with Texas. They're ranked 13th in the country. Feel like they're playing some pretty good baseball.
Well, I don't know what you guys have already covered, but, LSU's hitting 330 as a team through 9 games. Texas through 8 games is hitting 329 as a team. LSU's team ERA is 3.76, while Texas is at 1.82. So they've really pitched it well. Now, I don't know about the strength of the schedules. I think it's pretty much what and what. Last weekend, Texas threw 3 shutouts against Cal Poly. They've only allowed 7 runs or so in their past 7 games. They've been lights out on the mound, and of course, the starting pitcher for Texas tonight, he was good last year, and he'll be good again this year. And he's going to be 94 to 97 with a slider and a changeup. A slider and a split finger. And you can expect him to be super. Now, offensively, Texas, I'll have to look here. Let me get my notes real quick.
You're prepared. Look at you. I love that.
Yeah, I love that. Look at me. So offensively, they have 3 dudes that Holman's going to have to really work around. One of the guys, by the way, Jared Thomas, is hitting 581. He has 18 hits, which is the same amount of hits that Paxton Kling and Stephen Milam have combined.
Wow.
He also has 6 for 6 with stolen bases with 5 doubles. This kid, Peyton Powers, a redshirt senior, 441 so far, 15 hits. Both of those would be leaders on LSU's team with 4 home runs and 18 RBIs. I mean, that's pretty good. And another guy or two in there with 4 home runs. So they're going to be able to swing it. Just certainly in the middle of their lineup. I'm assuming Jared Thomas is probably their leadoff guy. They're going to have to figure out a way, to get to Johnson, the starter, and try to get to the bullpen as quickly as possible. And then on the other side, I think it's going to be simple. You got to throw strikes, and I like Holman starting. He's a strike thrower. His first 13 innings, he's got 18 strikeouts and only 1 walk, and I think that's going to be key in tonight's matchup to make them earn everything that they get. So I think this is a great test for LSU. If you're going to play in Omaha, Mikey, you're going to play away from LSU. You're going to play some of the best teams in the country. You're going to play in front of 20,000 plus people. So tonight on a big stage, we'll be able to see how this team, with its new forming identity, is able to handle a game like this that's very similar to what you would see in postseason play.
You mentioned the starting pitching, and we had you on earlier on the morning show this week where you kind of went out on a limb and said you might see Gage jump. They're kind of ramping him up to be able to be a starter, and that kind of, it raised some eyebrows, at least in my mind, where I was like, okay, because I could see the progression of what they were trying to do. And then whenever they, obviously make the transition to Holman, do you think that was just hey, we're getting him ready to be the Friday night guy and transition off of Thatcher Hurd? Or is this Texas specific, which I would think would be kind of shocking for Jay Johnson, who usually kind of steady as he goes, does his deal the entire way through?
Well, I don't know the specific reason why Jump was bumped to Saturday, although my suspicion is, you want to give your best bet or your best effort against this Texas team, right? Nothing against ULL or Texas State, but, this is obviously, in my opinion, the toughest of the competition. And if you start Jump, you're kind of hindered by this pitch count thing, right? Like, I don't know that he's going to go out there past 50 right now. So you would get in a situation where you'd run a starter out there against Texas and perhaps have to pull him after the second or third inning and go to the bullpen. So the only thing I can think of is that, Holman will be able to go out there and get deeper into the game. I think Jump is going to start now on Saturday. And I know that their goal with Gage Jump is to continue to build that pitch count up, hopefully get into 50, 55 this week, 60, 65 next week. And then ready to, get into the 5th or 6th inning when the SEC comes around. So, a little bit of a surprise, but really, not so much when you look at it from that perspective. It's really hard to tell, what these guys are thinking. But I was just as surprised as anybody to hear the news.
So you talk about Jump, right? Obviously, you say he's throwing on Saturday. What does that mean for Thatcher? Is Thatcher now the Sunday guy, or is Thatcher going to come out the pen behind him since he's on a pitch count? Are they going to piggyback? Have they announced that yet? And if they have, I'm sorry that I missed it. And if they have not, what is your expectation from being a former pitcher?
No, I don't. I think Jump is going to go Saturday and Hurd will go Sunday, and I think Thatcher's not his best right now, and he knows that. And he's certainly not the guy that finished last year. I mean, he really worked in the offseason to add more sweep, break to his slider, but what that did was kind of drop his slot down a little bit. And the truth is, last year when he was really good, he was throwing a curveball and a slider and his fastball from the same slot a little bit more over the top. And I think he's going to go back to some of those things. It's great now with all this information, this data with TrackMan and all these things. You can simply just go back to the last time you punched out 15 guys in the game, right? And see where you were. And I think they've done a little bit of that with Thatcher. In fact, some of the things I'm hearing, I think we can expect to see a little bit more of the Thatcher Hurd that we thought we'd see at the beginning of the year. Although I don't think he's pitched terribly to start it off. He just isn't. He isn't that guy that we thought he'd be maybe one of the best pitchers in the SEC first-round draft pick yet. But there's a long season to go, and I think putting him that Sunday role takes a little bit of pressure off. Lets him be able to focus on those things he's trying to get back to. But when it comes to Gage Jump, I mean, I think that's the best arm on this team. He's super special. But the truth is, Mikey, he's never started a game before. He's never thrown more than 60 pitches in a game before. So, I mean, he's great, and he's got great stuff like major league stuff, 4 pitches from the left side, with a fastball that gets into the high 90s. But the truth of the matter is, he's not yet been tested in his career to go out there and be a starter that's going to eat, 120 to 150 innings.
Right. You mentioned all the technology, right? You mentioned, hey, you can go look at TrackMan, and I think it's all great, right? Being the guy that I am, right, somewhat of a mental liability.
One way to phrase it.
Yeah, think about too much stuff in my head.
Yes.
Do you think that sometimes all of this technology and all of this information to certain pitchers, right? Hey, you were really good at the end of the year doing this, but we think if you can create this pitch, it'll make you get you to the next level. So now you focus on doing that, but also kind of take away from what made you so good the year before. Do you think that all this information is almost information overload sometimes, and it takes away from, hey, just go out there and do what you do and just get guys out? Sometimes.
That's a great question, and my answer would be yes. For a hitter, I think it's too much. I think there's only so much you can try to process as a hitter, and really, the more simple you can keep it in your mind, the easier it'll be to hit, because hitting's so hard. I think as a hitter, you have to get up there and look for a fastball that's going to show up somewhere you can hit it, and hope that you're able to stay back if it ends up being a breaking ball. And you can't really think about too much more, like maybe knowing tendencies. What does this guy throw the first pitch most often, or certain things like that. But in terms of this deep dive, I don't. But for pitchers, I do. I do think that it can help a pitcher to understand what he's really good at and what he's okay at. I mean, not just balls and strikes, but how is my curveball compared to the major league average or the major league best curveball? And if that answer is it's better than major league average, then that's gonna give me a lot of confidence when I go out there and throw it in a college game. And sometimes, as players, as pitchers and hitters, we go through these kind of slumps that we don't understand why we can't get someone out, or we can't throw strikes, or whatever it may be for a pitcher. But I think that this information, being able to measure so many different details about one pitch, certainly can be used to help a pitcher get back on track. So I think it's much more beneficial for pitchers and pitching coaches. And I don't think that hitters really need to look too much into the TrackMan information. I just don't think it's going to help them much. I think more scouting reports on pitchers would help hitters compared to the actual, the metrics that we're seeing on every single pitch of a game now.
From the pitching perspective, and if you were to face this LSU lineup, how frustrating would it be? Because especially going off the Rice game, wherever you saw the amount of walks that were given up and how often players were hit by pitches, what would be your strategy when LSU's right? And that's obviously like Jay Johnson's preferred method of just putting pressure on you every inning. But it feels like you can't get inside on the LSU offense. What would be a way that if you were to attack them, what would you try to go to?
Well, I wouldn't try to go in. And the truth of the matter is I couldn't pitch in today's college baseball because you actually have to throw the ball over the plate for a strike. So
I'm not giving you those 4 inches outside.
Hey, I'm just being real. Like, it's real. Like, these kids really have to throw it over the white. That's another thing that TrackMan has affected. Now these umpires go back to their locker room after a game, and the guy behind the home plate has an actual statistics sheet that shows how right he was, how many times he missed out of the zone, how many times he made the correct calls. So these guys are really buttoned up now, and it's tougher to pitch. But if I had to pitch against this LSU team, I would try to establish my breaking ball early, and I would try to locate my fastball well, get ahead of them, and put them on the defense. They do crowd the plate. That's one of the reasons they get hit by so many pitches. And again, that makes it somewhat intimidating for a pitcher when every single hitter is standing up there right on that inside corner. Because as college pitchers, we're just really not ready to establish that inside quarter just yet. In fact, if you try to throw 10 fastballs into a right-handed hitter, over the course of the game, the reality is you're probably only going to execute 3 or 4 of them, and you're probably going to hit a couple batters at the college level. So, LSU, Jay Johnson has a great strategy, and they stick to it. And it's tough to beat them offensively because they force so many free passes.
Sticking on the offensive side, and I know you're a pitcher, but you faced a bunch of really good offensive guys. LSU scoring runs, they're generating a lot of runs. They're putting a lot of pressure. Before the year started, we talked about the offense is going to look a little differently than it did last year. They're not going to hit 140-something home runs or whatever they hit last year. Right. They're still going to drive the ball at the ballpark, but it's going to be more of, hey, we're going to put pressure, we're going to take extra bases, we're going to steal more bags, all of those types of things, which they have done, right? You have some guys like Stephen Milam, you have guys like
Bingham.
You have these new guys that are coming in there. You have Brady Neal, who's kind of taking that next step, they're taking the reins right now and driving these guys in. One guy who I'm not doubting 1 second, and I know he's going to do it, but the one guy who really hasn't driven a ton of guys in and kind of really hadn't driven guys in with runners in scoring position is Tommy White, right? And so I guess my question is, how much confidence does that give you on the offensive side to know, hey, listen, all these other guys are developing and starting to drive some guys in. They're generating runs without their biggest run generator driving guys in. Like how much better does that make you feel moving forward?
Well, it makes me feel really good moving forward. And, I think we'll all agree that for Tommy White to be the Tommy White he was last year, he's going to have some guys around him that can hit that can drive the ball out of the park and put it in play. And the more other guys hit and get the job done, the more they're going to have to start considering them as well, right? So we can't, going into the season, and our opponents look at us as a one-man offense. Why wouldn't they? There's really no one else in that lineup that other than Jared Jones that's really shown that they can do it for a sustainable amount of time. So the more this offense proves that they're not just depending on Tommy White to drive in 105 runs again, the more fastballs and pitches in the zone Tommy White himself will actually see. Right now, he's not getting a whole lot. I mean, yeah. I'm willing to bet he's probably seen less than 10 fastballs the whole year so far. So right. They're going to pitch him tough. They're going to pitch him off the plate. They're going to make him uncomfortable. They're going in a lot with him. They move his feet a lot. And I think the key to getting Tommy White moving the way he was a season ago is for exactly what's happening to happen. Guys like Brady Neal to be driving balls out of the ballpark. Travinsky and Jones are going to have to do the same. And I think Josh Pearson, for some reason, Mikey, I think Josh Pearson has to be a part
I agree.
Of this offense. I think he and Brady Neal's bats have to be in that lineup. But anyway, I think that what we're seeing is good news in the future. Not only that we see other guys can get the job done, but because it may actually get Tommy White some more pitches in the strike zone.
Dougie, as always, man, I appreciate you. I'm glad we got this going. Look, Lloyd was producing right now. He was working. He was trying to figure it out. Yeah. You look great.
He's already in game mode, Coach.
Weather's cold in Houston. You've been there for a minute.
It's chilly.
You've been there for a little minute. Have you some good Tex-Mex? Like, have you gone anywhere good? Like, or you've just been the simple, hey, whatever's around the hotel, I'm just gonna eat and be boring?
I'm looking at the temperature right now, Mikey. It's actually 70, so it's
nice.
Balmy.
From this morning when I went to get my credentials. No, I haven't really had much. Went to a little sports bar last night, literally right across the street. They had 10,000 TVs in there. It was really cool. But no, otherwise, dude, I didn't get in until Thursday night. Wednesday, I went straight to Rice. Yesterday, I met some former teammates to play a little golf. And then today.
Where'd y'all play?
It's just a place called River Bend.
I thought you were gonna say Blue Jack.
Well, I would love to play Blue Jack, and I think that's in the near future.
Aaron Hill's out there.
Casey Koontz took me to play at Riverbend here, which was also a nice course.
That's a great course. How'd you do?
That's what I was going to ask.
I think I shot an 85.
Oh, that's good.
Mikey. I don't really. It's not the score to me. It's like what are you playing for? Like what's on the line here, and whatever the score is. But I like to try to just win the game.
Yeah, no, that's all you got to do. You play against the course in your competition. As long as you get the dub, that's the only thing that matters.
They start
If
off
you
with a
lead
par.
with the money and shoot a 90, what difference does it make?
I'm with you.
1 by 5.
Well, I'm 100%. I'm with you.
Start you off with a par 5 there, Coach. That's an intimidating tee shot.
Or you just pull up the course?
Of course.
Look at it.
I mean, you know what tickles my fancy.
Well, I mean, look, Anthony Kim shanks ball still. You know, I mean, did you
Can
see
I get a
that?
mulligan?
Yeah. Can I get a mulligan? Dougie, you're the man, dude. Enjoy this weekend. I'm looking forward to listening to you. Always, you know, great insight. You know, you sound great, beautiful voice. Appreciate you.
Hey, you saved us on the call from the Rice, God bless him, but I feel like we don't realize how lucky we are until you have to.
Oh yeah, listen, it's a hard gig. I've never done it.
As a former play-by-play guy myself.
Yeah, it's a hard gig. You do a great job, dude. I'm pumped that you're out there. I'm looking forward to this weekend. Appreciate you, and we'll get you on next week.
You guys have a great day. Appreciate you guys having me anytime, man. And go Tigers.
Go Tigers. We got it, dude. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
What did you do?
I don't know.
You figured. See, that's the issue. That's the issue. You
I'm
can't not know what you did. You have to know what you did to get it to work.
Yeah, but when you get in that zone where you're just grooving, it's just, what do we do here? It's
Okay.
just kind of like a mental mind state of, like, it's a beautiful mind. You don't ask Russell Crowe what he's thinking when he's writing on the glass. Who knows? But it comes out like, janitor on a chalkboard.
Okay, fair enough.
When you feel it, you feel it.
All right.
I think I just have to send them an email as opposed to the Zoom meeting from Zoom.
Okay.
That's what it is.
Okay, perfect. All right. We appreciate Dougie. That was great. Let's get to the seggies, and let's call this a weekend so everybody can go home and enjoy
Doug on the call.
maybe some Heinekens before the game starts, and enjoy Doug on the call. You got Mistake of the Day is brought to you by our friends at Doe's Place.
Mistake of the day, and I don't know if this is taking a shot.
Oh, that obviously means it's taking a shot.
But
Here we go.
did you see the picture of Anthony Kim?
Yes.
I feel like Vegas may have gotten the best of it.
Yes.
And it's not a shot. If I had that amount of money and that amount of time off, that you walk to the mailbox every month, check still here, and
You
he's
gonna
had
pull the picture up?
No.
Okay.
He's had a lot of surgeries, but there's some rumors going around that it may have been hurt his nose.
Some extracurriculars.
Extracurricular, because that thing, it looks like it is collapsing a little bit, but it's not a shot. I'm just saying. I hope he plays well. And then you saw the first tee shot. I don't know if this
76.
is. That's not bad.
That's what he shot. 6 over. He's in last
It's a
place.
par 70.
He's in last place.
First time out there, Coach. You
Right,
haven't played
listen,
competitive golf in a while. Maybe
He's going to be all right.
I hope I don't know if they're on the same team, but if he and DJ can team up, you might see this thing skyrocket.
Well, yep.
Burn bright.
Maybe that's what he needs.
That's what I'm saying. Hey, there's lavatories out there for a
I
reason.
can't imagine Liv's
No.
testing for that, huh?
I think they are, and if you don't do it, you might be in trouble.
Well, the Olympics are having
A moment.
Maybe they should have PEDs for everything.
And also Taylor Gooch. I don't know if you've seen this.
Yeah, so can you explain? I've seen a little bit of it. Explain exactly what's going on.
Well, Taylor Gooch says that first of all, I guess it's just Rory gets an asterisk if he is able to win the Masters and complete his career Grand Slam, I think is the direction Gooch was going. But he's saying you should put an asterisk by it because LIV players aren't allowed to play in the Masters with an exemption unless they qualify for the event, which is the way the Masters has always worked, or it's invitation. Like all previous winners can play. Gooch is throwing himself in the conversation by saying, oh, well, if LIV players aren't there, like all of the guys that are supposed to be out there, the full field, then it should be an asterisk. And the only player from LIV that is not playing that is qualified is Taylor Gooch. So he's saying, if I was out there,
So he's qualified but not playing.
no, he's not qualified.
Oh, he's not qualified.
But he's inserted. He's the only person that isn't qualified from LIV.
So basically, he's saying, "Hey,
If I were there,
I'm gonna win."
right?
Now listen, I appreciate the confidence, and I appreciate Rory's response to him.
Rory is
Rory took
finding
the high
new
road.
high roads.
No
He
doubt.
keeps just going up.
No doubt. Took the high road and said, "Listen, kind of maybe I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. I think it was taken out of context. You didn't listen to the whole. If you listen to the whole interview and the whole question, he goes, he felt like the interviewer
May have led him in that.
led him
path.
in that direction. So,
This is also the same.
not an asterisk.
No.
Now it's an asterisk if 7 of the top 10 golfers are not playing,
If John
that's
Rahm's not
different.
there.
That's a different conversation. But
It's Gooch.
and look, Taylor Gooch's a great golfer.
Well,
He is,
yeah, sure.
but
He's not anything he comes.
he's never won. He's never won the Masters, right?
No.
He's never. I
He
mean,
never-
maybe has he
he
gotten
never
close? I
will.
don't even. Was he a top? Has he ever gotten a top 10?
I don't know.
So like, to say that it's an asterisk just because you're the only one that did not qualify from Live.
All-time
like,
confidence move.
trying to get himself in there.
I mean, this is
appreciate
the
it.
same guy that was at like maybe one of the first Live events, and he was like, they asked him about the atmosphere. He's like, I've never played in a Ryder Cup or a President's Cup. He's standing next to Dustin Johnson, and say what you will about Patrick Reed, but he's been in those environments and thrived. He's like, I mean, I name a better environment than this. I mean, I've never been to a Ryder Cup, President's Cup, but this is probably what it feels like. And Dustin Johnson's like, what are you? Just like, okay.
Yeah. Okay. So see.
Nice promo.
Yeah. He's just.
You'll never be on a President's Cup team or a Ryder Cup team.
Yeah. Yeah. That's tough.
That's tough.
Tough. Not a bad putt for him. That's
Yeah,
not great.
man.
Yeah, nobody's on his side. Nobody's on his side.
Just all-time unlikable guy
Yep.
at this moment.
That's a good one. It's brought to you by our friends at Dozy Place.
That was off the rip, too.
That was great. Love that. All right, curtain call is brought to you by our friends at Assured Partners.
I do have a curtain call.
Okay, what we got?
This is from last night. My buddy he had to come in the booth, too, and was never done play-by-play, never been on the radio, never done this before, and he wasn't necessarily nervous about that. It was all building up to the first pitch, where he's a former professional. I mean, his dad's a former professional baseball player. He played baseball, always wanted to pitch. Never quite worked out, but this might have been in his 6 years of trying to pitch from junior high to high school, this might have been the best effort he's given.
You got a video.
Oh, we got video.
Wow, look at the look at the field.
Oh.
Oh.
A dime.
Oh, that's nice, lefty. That came out clean.
Yeah, he was nervous about this thing. I'll give it one more go around. But
Listen.
it was. I told him before he got out there. Look at that. Zoom.
Look, he tucked the glove too.
Well, that's what I told him. He was gonna go out there no glove.
Gotta have
I
the
was
glove.
like, you have to have. How many times you throw a baseball without a glove? He's like, oh shit.
Listen, I threw out the first pitch one time. Here, I got drafted next year. First
Oh,
game for
the
first
bangs.
pitch. And,
A hell of a look.
and I went on the mound, no glove, and I lobbed it. I got it there, like strike, but like it wasn't. That was good. That had some
little run on
behind
it.
it,
A little
right?
two- say threw a little
mine,
two-seamer.
Mine did not. I lobbed it in there. Dylan Cruz let it eat, a little bit. He threw it there. One of the best first pitches I've seen from somebody else unexpected was Odell Beckham threw the first pitch out of LSU, 87 miles an hour, down the middle.
Who was catching?
I don't know. It was
Like,
I
do
mean,
you have to-
I wasn't playing at the time. I was just watching. It was impressive.
Do you have to let them know if you're gonna like, hey, I'm about to let
Yeah.
it eat here?
I mean, I guess you say I'm gonna let it go. I mean, 87's hard for a guy that you're not
doesn't-
expecting to throw it like
Doesn't
that.
play the sport.
Yeah, if you threw it 78, people would be impressed. He threw it 87. That's impressive. All right, shout out to your boy.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just
And
fumbled the ball.
well, you get intimidated when you see a pitch like that. But shout out to Nick Magnano of 446. They did the YouTube live stream.
Oh, nice.
And once he told me it was YouTube, there's a lot of, hey, watch what I was like,
Yeah.
wait, it's YouTube and Facebook. I live in these streets. Like, you
Yeah.
can say whatever you want. He's
Yeah.
like, shut it,
Uh-huh.
quit it. But we did a good, clean broadcast.
Good. I'm proud of you.
I really
That's hard
wanted
for you.
it to be over the PA so we could get, do a little
Uh-huh.
crowd work, saw a lot of people that we knew, a little alumni event.
They wouldn't let you do that. They knew
It just
better.
didn't plug it,
They knew
That's
better.
not the way it worked.
They knew better.
But shout out Menard gets a 1-0
shout-
victory in
There you
9.
go. Shout out to you.
Yeah.
Shout out to you. That was a big one. My curtain call is to the number 1, number 2 overall picks of last year's draft. Our buddies, Paul Skenes and Dylan Cruz. Both of them had their Major League Spring Training debut, and both of them were a success. Paul Skenes had to face 2 number 1 overall picks. One is going to be in the big leagues this year, in Jackson Holliday. The other has established himself in the big leagues as one of the better up-and-coming players in all of professional baseball, and that is Adley Rutschman. So he goes out there, faces them, throws well. Adley almost took him deep, does not. Fly ball to the warning track. Jackson Holliday rolled over to second base. So successful first outing. I'd imagine you're going to see him continue to keep ramping up, and hopefully continues to dominate. And I hope he makes a team out of camp. I think he should. I don't know if the Pirates are going to do that. And then Dylan Cruz doing Dylan Cruz things in center field, diving catch, hustle double in the gap. He's, looks good. First game of spring training, it's always nice to be able to get those things and kind of calm you down. No matter how good you are, you want to put out a good performance in your first major league camp. And to have those things happen the first game, it's a really big confidence booster, and it kind of takes a lot of pressure off. So shout out to those guys.
You think they both make the opening day roster?
They will both won't. I think they'll both be in the big leagues this year, but
This year?
I don't think they're both going to make the opening day roster.
Because they've started the Dylan Cruz hype train. Like, if you've looked on social.
Both of them. Skenes
the
too.
Skenes has been moving.
Yeah, but like Skenes has a chance to make it out of camp. I don't know if the Pirates are going to do that because they're the Pirates, but
Yeah, they threw him, 20 pitches?
yeah, that's normal. He's going to go probably throw him 2 innings. Did they throw him 2 innings or was it 1?
I think it was, I don't know.
Anyway, say 2 innings, and it's going to they want him to get to 6, 7 innings before the last start, and so we'll see it build up. Dylan, as a position player, is a little bit harder to make it out of camp, especially when you don't really have that many at-bats in the minor leagues. And so I think you're going to see him start in AA. He'll get off to a hot start, go to AAA, play well there. If he just gets off, and then in the big league. So we'll see. But shout out to those guys. It's a good start to spring training. All right, that's all we got. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy watching LSU play. I actually can't watch them.
Astros.com.
Do you have to sign up or pay for something?
No, it's free.
Astros.com. Just tonight.
I think it's the
Well,
whole
it's
weekend.
tape delayed, too, on MLB Network.
Yeah, but I think you can go to Astros.com and you're able to watch the whole thing. And it's on YouTube. So free. Free to the people.
Oh, YouTube where?
I'd imagine the Astros channel.
Okay, that's good to know.
Hey, look at Major League Baseball
Look
helping
at 'em.
college.
Look at them. That's good to know. That's good to know. Needed that because I didn't think we could watch them. Enjoy the weekend. We'll see you again live Monday in studio from 6 to 8 p.m. We appreciate the support. Please like and subscribe. Why are you laughing?
The fact that you didn't think we could watch, we're going to preview a whole game that nobody's going to see.
Well, no, you can watch it.
Sign
They
up.
were streaming it, but I thought you had to sign up and pay for it.
No, it's on YouTube and Astros.com.
Good to know. And whatever the other streaming service
They've
have.
got a billion of them
Yeah.
in Texas that are all over the place.
Right.
But there's also another channel near and dear that'll probably have it. You know,
yes.
you know.
Yes, he does a great job. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you haven't liked and subscribed to us, please do it. If you can't watch us and you like listening to us, we're anywhere you get your pods. Again, we appreciate the support. We'll see you on Monday. Enjoy your weekend. Peace.